I am Geoffrey of Eudaemon in the 6th episode of my Lakhmid campaign. King Eudaemon has just crashed a rebel army near Zafar. The rebel leader, Shebit was not dead as at first thought. He had fled when he saw that the battle was lost. Our king chased him down the deserts of Arabia near the coast of the Indian Ocean, and there the rebel leader was slain, surrounded only by a handful of his men. The authority of our king is now indisputable. A wife would be nice, but there are no suitable candidates in the royal courts of our friends. They must be all already married to fat princes, spending their lives drinking tea and talking about the weather with nothing else to do. Prince Al-Mundir had enough of this and made a courtesan pregnant with child. The child was named Morted, and perhaps one day he will rule across all of Arabia. Public order is low in Arabia Felix. Perhaps it should be renamed Arabia Dolor. Rab, the governor of Arabia Magna, has hired an epic poet to commemorate in verse the victories of the Lakhmids. A general named Jaffna has finally arrived in Zafar, freeing King Eudaemon's army to continue the conquest of Arabia Felix. Our next target is the city of Eudaemon, the city of bliss, as the Greeks called it, the city of joyfulness, in the land known today as Yemen. Our spectre Wakhiel brings news of the strength of the Himyarite armies garrisoning the city.
We take this settlement for you, my lord.
King Eudaemon hires all the mercenaries he can afford and marches upon Eudaemon. The entire army of Himyar is defending Eudaemon, yet they are no match for the desert scorpions, the army of King Eudaemon. Our king and an army are now outside Eudaemon. The battle is about to begin. The peasantry, seeing our army investing their city, run to the safety of their homes. Our men are now at the outskirts of Eudaemon. Here is the eastern side, and here's the southernmost end of that eastern side. We are now within range of the enemy, and we are receiving arrow fire from the towers. On the other hand, our enemy has gathered within our arrow range, and they are making a fine target. And this is the northern side now. Again, the enemy has gathered, blocking the street, making a fine target. Our archers are about to begin to fire at them, and some of our light infantry is approaching. They have a special mission to silence that tower blocking the entrance on the side. Our men on the northern side charged into the fray, attacking the enemy blocking that street. Now everything is down to the judgment of the spear and of the sword. In the meantime, our enemy has done a very bad job of defending the southern side of Eudaemon. Our heavy macemen have managed to get past the outer defenses, have attacked some of their cavalry. Our cavalry has come to their aid, including our camel cavalry, and there's a terrible melee. We have the upper hand here. Further south nearer the sea, our men are already entering Eudaemon. Here's the northern side. Some infantry is now attempting to block the path, to block this road. Behind them, some of the enemy cavalry, they have retreated as our spearmen were joining the melee. And on the eastern side, we have practically defeated the enemy cavalry. There is still some infantry holding their ground, but we have enough cavalry now to send some to flank those units defending the northern side of the city. So here's one unit of cavalry heading that way. The Hymir cavalry that was on reserve on the northern side have, however, left. They saw one of our units of light cavalry entering from northwest from a small street and left and went to intercept them, but here they have been charged in the rear by our king's bodyguard, and here's our king fighting valiantly in the front line, commanding his men with his sword in his hand. And our camel cavalry have also come to his aid, and there is now a terrible cavalry fight in the streets of Eudaemon. You can see some of the Hymirite cavalry in the foreground in the brown cloaks. They are hard pressed, they are fighting on, but they are wavering, and now they are fighting to the death those who can flee. The enemy cavalry has been routed, and our men are celebrating. On the northern side, the streets are strewn with the dead. The men of Hymir are resisting valiantly, still blocking those streets. They are here armed with axes, they're wearing those cylindrical hats. They have routed already one of our units, and they've turned the other side because they've been attacked from the rear. They're still holding the ground. Here the enemy fleet, seeing that there's no threat from the sea, they have disembarked. They are sailors and marines, and they are coming to the aid of the garrison. In the meantime, the enemy is still resisting on the northern side. Our cavalry comes to the rear just to lower the morale along some of our lighter units. Our macemen have joined the fray along with some spearmen. They're joined by our camel cavalry. The enemy axemen are fighting on, but they are wavering. And here now they are fighting to the death. They have been defeated finally, so the northern side has been cleaned up. So let's look at what's happening and the rest of the city. So here are those enemy ships. They have disembarked some of their men, of the Marines, and here is the view from the east. Some of the Marines of Hymia are now approaching the central plaza, where their general is preparing for a last stand. They are charged by our cavalry, and the enemy Marines are slaughtered. They are wiped out by that single cavalry charge. Just a couple of men are still standing on their feet. Others eventually get up, and to their credit, they are putting up a valiant defense. The fighting is now decidedly on our favor. Most of the Marines have been slain. They are wavering, some are standing, dazed in dismay, some seem to be surrendering, others are running off. Our cavalry is cleaning up the routed Marines, and our infantry is now surrounding the enemy plaza, where the governor's house is in the center of Eudaemon. Here is the enemy king with his bodyguard. They are putting up a valiant last stand there at the top of the hill. You can see them on the high ground near the governor's palace. And here's the battlefield from the view of our enemy. Our skirmishers are throwing javelins at them. They are pelting them with missiles. They are holding the ground, well protected by their large shields. Now and then one of their men goes down. You may be wondering why they are marching off towards the right. What we are doing here is to unsettle their defense. We are sending light units up the hill, just pretending they're going to go up the hill, and this makes them move around this way and that, exposing their flanks to our skirmishers. And here is the king of Hymia, looking glorious among his bodyguard. He's commanding them, telling them to hold steady behind their shields. Our infantry on the northern side are being blocked by some barricades. They are tearing the barricades down. It's taking them time. Finally, the barricades have been dismantled, the road has been opened, our men are now free to come to the support of the other units that have surrounded the governor's palace, and you can see in the background where the enemy king is making his last stand. On the northern side of the governor's palace you can see some of our light spearmen taunting the enemy king. Here's the enemy king. You can see them to the right behind the standard bearer among his men. Here he is again near the center in front of the governor's palace. He is waiting for our attack, and our attack is about to begin. A glorious moment, poignant moment, also a sad moment. All that is left to the enemy king is an acre of land and a handful of men. And the enemy king has fallen. All is lost for Haimia. Eudaemon is now ours. Our men are celebrating. They have marched all the way from Hera. They have faced the perils of the desert. They have fought enemies on every side, rebels and the armies of Haimia. And finally, Haimia is no more. Arabia has been conquered. The Lakhmid kingdom reaches from Hera to the Indian Ocean. Our glorious king, the Lion of Arabia, now stands outside the governor's palace of Eudaemon. All of Arabia is his except for Mazum. There's nothing beyond our dominions except the vastness of the empty ocean. The balance of power was fairly equal in this battle, but we prevailed in the end. Our king is now in Eudaemon. Our enemy has been crushed. We only lost a cavalry unit, veterans as they were. They fell. They died a glorious death. Eudaemon is peacefully occupied. Public order is bad enough. Imagine if it was not.
My lord!
Here's our king and our Inspector Wakahill in the background. It was a close victory, but a brilliant victory too. Our enemy is no more. Al-Numan, our king, has increased his raise the banner attribute. The enemy king Hassan has been slain in battle. The enemy governor of Eudaemon, Bahabil, has also died in battle. Haimia is no more. And Yemen, the land of Eudaemon, the city of bliss, is now ours. We have finally an offer from a faction, Aksum, for a trade treaty, which of course we have accepted at last. Trade with someone we also sent an embassy to the Sassanids. We're asking for a non-aggression pact. After all, we are their vassals and they are refusing. What good is it to be a vassal of the Sassanids? They have no friends anyway. So Arabia Felix is again in the throes of rebellion. The town of kids have been destroyed, presumably by Hans. Zafar is being raided by rebels. There have been cavalry recruitment reforms. Oh, that sounds very good. Wakahil, our inspector, is in search for the rebels raiding Arabia Felix, and there's a population surplus in Arabia Magna. Thank you for watching.